What is up, and welcome in to the Easy Smoke and the GM podcast. I'm your host, Ezra McCann. I'm joined, as always, by my outstanding co-host. He's a Chicago Public League legend. He's a Simeon legend. He's a Grambling State legend. He played second base for the Tigers back in the day. He was all swag, and he's now the head coach for the Simeon Wolverines. He is Brandon Williams, a.k.a. Coach Smoke. And we've got our NFL draft analyst. You can see all his work at NBC Sports Chicago. I saw you on Football Night in Chicago on Friday.
Yeah, there's rumors. Hey, some of the stuff we talked about, it actually happened. Unfortunately, but it actually happened.
That is Glenn Morgan. He's our GM. Gentlemen, Sunday. I can't say that it wasn't expected.
Oh.
I mean, you know, but
wasn't expected.
When you're up 28-7, you know.
Yeah, that wasn't expected.
That shouldn't happen.
I blame myself.
You should.
We were in a tournament this weekend. And Sunday was bracket play. We had earned the number 1 seed, semifinal game. We had a bye to the semifinal. We get to the semifinal. Well, play the semifinal. We win. Championship game starts maybe about 30 minutes. Well, actually, about almost an hour into the Bears game. So I'm able to watch the bulk of the Bears game before we started. And Bears rolling. So were we. No, so were we. We were rolling. And we ended the game in 3 innings, 15-0. And everything's going great. And it's like since our reign was over, it was like the Bears was over. Everything started going downhill. It was like, oh, shit. I blame us. But no, man, it was highs, a lot of highs, and then a very quick low. It was like it just all came crashing down very fast. Quickly.
So you saying they went from sugar to shit real quick?
Yeah, definitely did. Of course, it was good to see Justin play the way he played, you know, for the majority of the game. I think second half we got very conservative, you know, and kind of rightfully so. You know, you kind of at this point, Eberflus, your defense should be able to hold things down. But they couldn't. And I knew it was coming. I just knew it was coming. A mistake was brewing. I just knew it. And boom, the scoop and score happens. But then then Justin, you know, he bounced back, recovers, and he drives us back down the field. Then boom, the coaches make a dumbass decision. Yeah. It was just like it felt like we was getting punked. Like this is, hey, we showed y'all the offense could look great. Kind of like last year when we started rolling offensively, something would always happen.
It reminded me of the Lions game from last year. The Lions game in Chicago. That's what it reminded me of. You know, Justin's having a good game. It looks like the Bears are in control, and then, you know,
what can go wrong?
One thing goes wrong. Yeah.
So
look at the stat line. Justin Fields, 28 of 35, 335 yards, 4 touchdowns. He had the 1 pick, obviously, at the end. A QB rating of 132.7. Not a bad day. Outside of the fumble, the sack fumble recovered for a touchdown, and obviously the game-ending interception. Bears offense was moving. Khalil Herbert had over 100 yards rushing. DJ Moore, 8 catches, 131 yards. So, I mean, man, a good day overall for the offense until that fourth quarter. And I think they came off the throttle a little bit. And, Eberflus. That's a fireable offense, by the way.
It should be.
Yeah.
It should be.
Fireable offense.
I don't think they really came off the gas pedal. Like, you gave Justin's overall stats. Really good day. Unfortunately, he can't even feel good about it because of how everything ended. And it didn't just end in a loss, it ended with three things that could be attributed to him being part of the reason why the loss happens. And as a competitor, you're going to always feel like this on me, even when it's just one thing. You're talking about three significant things that happen. But at halftime, you're talking about he was 16 of 17. The only incomplete pass was the Hail Mary.
The Hail Mary pass, right?
Yeah, 16 of 17 at half with 231 yards and 3 touchdown passes. Now, you had the Broncos get the ball at the half, come out, and the Bears defense did enough to stymie them to some degree. Okay, I think they ended up scoring at some point, but the Bears, when they got the ball, they went on a 15 play. Actually, no, they was still 20. It was still 21-7. They went on a 15 play drive. When have we seen them go on a 15 play drive? And this play and in that drive, we're mixed in with some false starts and some loss of yards. And they overcame those things. So they did that consistently through the first three quarters. There were times they'd lose a couple of yards. Either Justin gets caught a little bit behind, or the running back gets they knife through, or false start, or pushing the back, something like that. And the Bears were able to overcome those things throughout the course of the first three quarters, and still mount a 21-7 lead at halftime. And then when they get that ball in the third quarter, they chewed up about 9.5 minutes on that 15 play drive. It was 28-7 with a total of like just about 4 minutes or so left in the third quarter. Of course, the 15 minutes left in the fourth quarter to come up. So you talk about 19 minutes left in the game time, about 19 minutes, and you win it 28-7, and you lose in regulation at home. What went wrong? And if you're watching it, you can't help but come away and say this coaching staff failed. I don't know if you guys ever watched the Green Arrow on the CW. It's like the first two seasons, the Green Arrow's going around like a vigilante, like shooting people with arrows, like pointy arrows, not even trick arrows, pointy arrows, and telling these mobsters, "You have failed this city. You have failed this city." Well, someone needs to shoot an arrow at these dudes or something and tell that coaching staff, "You have failed this organization. You have failed these players." That was an atrocity. That was sabotage. That was self-sabotage. As you mentioned, being on football night in Chicago Friday, right? We played a game of what if, and it was like, what if the Bears win? This happens. What does that mean to Eberflus? I'm like, that means more time. Okay, what if the Bears lose? Well, you can't just lose if you're Eberflus, because it's going to be 14 straight. Not only can you not just lose to 14 straight, if you lose for whatever reason, you better not give up 25 points. And I know one of the touchdowns was a return from a fumble. But you subtract 7 from 31, that's 24. That's damn near 25 points again. You've given up 25 points plus and 14 straight losses. You ain't won since last October. Dude, that ain't all the players. That's coaching, because you haven't figured it out. You can't uncoach what you've been putting in there. Come on, man. And it's the worst defense. You're not going to play a worse defense than the one you play unless you're practicing it against it every week. You're just not. 4th and 1. And Eberflus comes in the press conference and says it was half a yard. So, let's just.
And it was definitely not half a yard.
It was about a yard and a half.
Even if it's a yard, or if you think it's a half a yard, the fact that you thought it was a half a yard is even more of a travesty. How are you going to go in a shotgun? Hold on. Okay, let me try and understand this. Help me out here. You're Eberflus. The game is tied up. You're in a situation where you're 35 yards away for a field goal. First drive of the game, you decide to not go for it on 4th and 2 with an 0-3 record, nothing to lose. You decide to not go for it. It works out. You guys, you have a 21-7. Okay. So you didn't go for it when you felt you had nothing. When there was nothing for you to lose, you didn't go for it. So now that you have something to lose, you decide to go for it. And then when you decide to go for it, part of your reasoning is, well, our defense has had a hard time stopping their offense. Your defense, by the way, is having a hard time stopping their offense. Okay. So if they're having a hard time stopping them, did you think for one instant that if you didn't make the first down, you're putting even more pressure on your defense to stop them with less yards because they don't have to score a touchdown in that instance. They just need to kick a field goal to beat you. So if you kick the field goal, you force them to have to score a touchdown to beat you. If you kick it into the end zone off the kickoff from your field goal, that's 75 yards they have to traverse in order to beat you. Less to tie you. But if they don't have to tie you because it's still tied, they only have to go about 45 yards to kick a field goal. So you put more pressure on your defense that you didn't have faith in. Help it make sense to me.
Doesn't make any sense.
And then on top of all that, you went for fourth down earlier in the game, midway through, with that bullshit ass tight end sneak that almost appeared to never win. They barely got it then. You come with a worse fourth down play where your 6'3", 230-plus pound quarterback who handles the ball all the time has to hand the ball off to a guy that's a yard and a half behind him to run 6.5 to 7 yards forward. And then you put pressure on your rookie right tackle to make blocks. In order for this play to work, and it gets blown up pretty much as a running back is getting the ball. As opposed to and then you lie to us or you lie to yourself and say, we knew we were going for it. If you knew you were going for it, when you had Justin at the line of scrimmage underneath center with the clock ticking down from 6 seconds to 1, and you're trying to force, I don't know, an offsides or whatever, why not hike the ball with 3 seconds left? The defense at that point doesn't know if you're going to try and go for it or if you're trying to draw them off. You have a bit of an advantage and it's just a yard. But no, you call a timeout and you waste a timeout to come up with that bullshit ass play.
I didn't have an issue with that.
Issue with what?
I didn't have an issue with the trying to draw them off and taking a timeout. I didn't have an issue.
If you're going to kick the field goal.
Right. But you're supposed to kick the field goal.
Right. But you don't. You come back at the side. You took the time to look at that play because you see Eberflus standing next to the offensive coordinator. Yeah, this is the play you want to. Okay, all right. You sure it's going to work? Okay, let's go for it. You barely made it with the tight end behind center. You think you're going to have your running back stand 7 yards and then run into them when they. Here's the thing, dude. If you're going to go shotgun like that, you might as well have 4 wide receivers and spread them out. But no, you don't do that. They're bunched in. They're pitching in. They're outside linebackers are pitching in. Like nobody's. They're one-on-one with the receivers on the outside. They're not even thinking you're gonna pass the ball. This is 1 yard. Why would you? Spread them out. If you're gonna do that, if you're gonna go for 4-for-1, you go shotgun. Spread them out. Spread them out. Because if they don't honor it, it's not only is it a first down, it might be a touchdown. But no, you don't do that. You don't spread them out, and they stay bunched in, and they stop you. It's like, okay, you're going for it. I'm with you. But you're doing that play. What the fuck? You call a timeout. Okay, you'll kick a field goal. Nope, you come back with a bullshit play. It's like you cut your nose off to spite your face. Last Sunday was a display of cutting your nose off to spite. You couldn't get out your own way. Any cliche you want to come up with, they self-sabotage themselves, man. And it makes no sense. And everything, all that goodwill, all that energy, Justin has to wear that defeat around his neck. And if you listen to that press conference, he's wearing that defeat around his neck. So you got that albatross. He's got this. The only upside is you got a game Thursday.
Yeah.
So he doesn't. The albatross of that game doesn't stick on his neck. Right. That doesn't stick on his name. He's just got to worry about getting his head broken in by a better defensive line coming up this Thursday. But you put the yoke of that young man is wearing, and that's not even his fucking fault. I do not blame the fumble on him. Because that bullshit ass naked where my back is turned to the fucking defense almost doesn't work with any team any longer because they all just run at the quarterback.
All right,
so he had no chance. He couldn't even say, oh my God, like Geno Smith did the week before when Aaron Donald was coming at him. He had no time to even say that. He turned around, dude was in his face. It was like, dude, like what the hell? And then, the I don't blame the fourth down. That's not on him. He ran the play that was called. They took him out of the play. He handed the ball off. They took him out of the play. And then the interception, that's a bit on him. But, it's like at that point,
the more I see that, though, the ball was actually tipped.
It was tipped a little bit, but he still threw it to the left shoulder of Kmet, which is the inside. And on that play, from what I understand, if it's zone that you're facing, yeah. But if it's man to man, you want to kind of back shoulder that pass. So Kmet actually turned to where he was expecting the ball to be. Right. And Justin threw the ball to where he wanted Kmet to be. Right. In terms of how you work that kind of situation, Kmet did actually did the right thing. Justin said, in the wrong spot.
I thought you're going to do one of those. Didn't do it. Miscommunication. It happens.
It happens, but it seems to always happen at the worst of times with this team. Yeah. So all that goodwill, all that 335 yards you mentioned as the 23 of 28 or whatever the passing percentage was, which was, I'm sure, way over 70, at least 68 to 72%, somewhere around there. And the 4 touchdowns, can't even enjoy it.
Yeah, it's tough, man. And it's like all the people that was out here defending the coaching staff when Justin said what he said, even though realistically to me, he wasn't truly bashing them when he said that. But like, now look at it. Now he has to sit and wear this. I mean, Eberflus does as well, but like everybody know who gets the fucking bulk of this blame when it comes to the media and all this stuff, man. It's gonna be the quarterback. It's gonna fall on him.
I think for the most part, there's some meatheads out there that are trying to put it on Justin. I think for the most part, the coaching staff is eating this one.
Yeah, they better. They got to. They got to, man. Matt Eberflus needs to be gone. Be gone, man.
I think the only issue is we got what, 13 more weeks left, and you don't have a defensive coordinator as it is. Who are you going to promote as interim coach? Who?
I don't know.
I don't think they have anyone on the staff that.
No, unfortunately they don't. Eberflus' job is safe because he didn't hire anybody good enough for his job.
Right. Yeah. No one's going to be able to man this ship, even for the 13 weeks. To get
Jeff Saturday. Sorry, Jeff Saturday.
Maybe we bring in Mike Singletary.
Can't have it. Won't have it. Can't do it.
Man, could do something, man, because it's
can't play with him. Can't coach with him. Can't do it.
Can't coach him. Can't play with him.
That's tough, man, because we've been waiting to see this from Justin. First career 300-yard passing game. Career day all around the board for
4
him.
touchdowns.
For it to end the way it ends, like the coaching staff failed him.
Yes,
failed him
spectacularly.
Like you okay? The naked bootleg. I agree with you, Glenn. I hated the play call right there.
You didn't even need it there.
Didn't need it there. Hated the play call there. Okay, it happens. Justin pulls up his pants like a big boy and proceeds to drive us back down the field to put us in position to take the lead. At this point, we have lost 13 straight games. 13. Mm-hmm. And I don't care. I don't care that they've been driving on your defense, Matt Eberflus, on your defense. This is your time. Justin and the offense did their job. They gave you 28 points and put you in position to go up 31-28. Whether once they contributed to the opposing team scoring points, okay, whatever. But they did their job by putting you in position to score 31. Now it's your job, what you specialize in, to come up big. And not only did you make the job harder for your defense, they failed like we expected them to. So, like, just incompetent, man. And the more I hear him talk, it's like all I could think back to was when he first got hired and he brought up that hit shit, and GM was like the goddamn acronyms, and now I hate it with a passion. Like I'm like, GM said this from very start. Like,
and he's still rolling with it too.
man, I don't know what's going on, because I know one thing, and I get it. The linebackers is playing a lot of coverage, but man, they looking like frauds. Can't tackle.
Oh
They
my
they,
God.
they look bad yesterday for sure. Edmonds and Edwards.
Edmonds is bad, man. I
Man,
mean, not awful, but there's some plays that should have been made that he didn't make, and he should be held accountable for that. Edwards was in on what should have been some stops and didn't make it.
Yeah, quite a few of them. Big ones too.
Defensive line is the defensive line. I mean, there's nothing more said. They had a couple pressures yesterday, and that was good, but not good enough.
As banged up as the secondary is, they've still proven to be the best unit outside of the running backs to be on this team as far as being consistent.
I have no real issue with the secondary. Obviously, they gave up the big play on that final Broncos drive that put them in field goal range. But yeah. But yeah, outside I thought the secondary had a decent game, given what's in front of them. But I don't know, man.
It leaves you speechless.
The head coach got to go. It's as simple as that.
Okay, sure. And I think we all agree that they're not going to be the coaches next year. The problem is, what does this mean for the organization with its 2 first-round picks at this point, first and second pick overall? And what does it mean more specifically to Justin's future here in Chicago? Because you have to ask yourself, do you quote unquote restart the clock now because this team seems further away than we would like to have admitted up to this point? Or do you go with Justin if he continues to play at the level he played yesterday and then progresses from that? Or even if he just consistently played at the level he played yesterday, sans the 2 really bad plays at the end, which I kind of attribute to coaching staffs putting him in a bad spot. If he plays anything similarly to what he played the first 3.5 quarters, do you really want to restart that for a rookie quarterback who may or may not be good?
Here's the I think you continue the evaluation here.
But here's a problem. At the end of the year, more so specifically at the end of the draft, the Bears as an organization by the end of the first week in May or within the first week in May are going to have to decide whether or not to pick up his 5th-year option.
Right. And that's what I'm saying.
So do
you continue with the evaluation as planned right now. All right. If he continues on on this rising trajectory that he started this week, you can at least give him the option for the 5th year. Sorry, this fly is killing me. Start him for the 5th year. And then you use those 2 picks. You're going to have 2 probably top 10, maybe top 5 picks coming up here. And you can get more weapons, right? For him to use. Marvin Harrison Jr. is out there, right? And maybe you don't need to get a quarterback. So you go out and get, I don't know, you know better than me, Glenn, the solid pass rusher that's going to be out there, and you can do that. If he doesn't, if he slides, then that's very possible. At the end of the year, you'll know, and you can say,
Justin,
"Hey,
you're talking about."
I'm talking about Justin." Yeah,
Yeah,
you cut ties, and Caleb Williams could be there for you.
But is his slide attributed to him being bad or this coaching staff?
Yeah.
Or the remnants of this coaching staff? I think some people are going to be let go. I think after this week, because you got 10 days after the Washington game this Thursday, you got 10 days. There could be some changes.
Well, I think it's a few scenarios that can happen right now. One, I get what y'all saying about like not firing the coaches, because you don't have some there. But I think that's option number one for me. Like, do it after this Thursday night game, depending on the outcome, and just make the move now and figure it out. Two, trade Justin Fields. Trade him now. Because if you run the risk, like you say, and he do continue to play like he's playing now you have a dilemma where you have to do right by him and get a coach in here that wants him as the quarterback. And that's the dilemma you face at that point.
So what do you think mid season here before the trade deadline? What do you think you can get for Justin Fields?
I don't care. I don't know. I just say I trade him to Atlanta. If I'm Justin, I ask to be traded. Not even gonna lie to you. I try to go to Atlanta.
You gonna trade him for a fourth round pick?
Dude, I think he's worth more, but I'm seeing how some of these guys are traded and they're not getting a whole bunch. It's weird, dude. I mean, okay, you're trading Justin. What are you trading exactly? The promise of an athlete who has had one good game.
I'm saying Chase Claypool went for a second round pick last year.
It's a sucker born every minute, but not everybody's going to necessarily.
Not a lot of people agree with that.
And to be quite honest with you, Chase had more productive games in his short career than Justin's had. Just a fact. Now, you should be able to get more for a quarterback. Maybe you get 2 picks out of it. Maybe you get a third this year and a 5th next year. I don't know. I honestly don't know what you get for a quarterback mid-season, because if you're trading him, you're saying we can't win with him. So you're asking a team to help you out. Who's going to really help you out? We know you trade and trying to get something for them, so they're going to hold you up. I mean, it's different when someone's coming. It's different, like Aaron Rodgers. You had the and I'm not saying that Justin is Aaron Rodgers. Hear me out. What I'm saying is, it's different when a team comes to you and wants to trade with you, as opposed to you trying to unload a player. That's kind of what I'm saying. And when you're trying to unload a player, and everybody knows you're trying to unload a player, your player is kind of just devalued organically because they know you're trying to unload them, as opposed to someone coming to you with an offer saying, hey, I like your guy. I want your guy. Now you got a little leverage. We're going to be out leveraged if we're trading Justin at the end, mid-season. If you traded him at the beginning of the season, it's a little different. The leverage might be a little more balanced, because now another team's got to take quote unquote damaged goods, or a guy who was just learned a whole different system. So how good is he going to really be for me at a quarterback? As he comes into our system, unless it's real similar. There's a whole bunch of different things people are going to use to knock down his value. I would, if you're trying to trade him, right. And I say, okay, I'm gonna help you out. Wink, wink. I'm gonna help you out, but there's some concessions I need. Nah, dude, I can't give you 2nd round pick. Sorry. And so that's the issue. Did you have any other scenario, Smoke?
I can't think of the last one. I forgot the last one, but yeah, the trading Justin Fields aspect is one that's becoming more real to me, because it's just a major risk if he continues to play like he played yesterday.
So you wouldn't want to wait. You wouldn't want to wait till the end of the season.
Well, the issue is you're firing the coaches regardless. That's the issue here. So that's why I say, number one, you fire them now and get somebody in here that can show change in Justin or in the entire team.
What if
then you have better hope. But
what if he figures it out though?
So if he figures it out,
I would be too afraid, and I know this isn't a great analogy because San Diego figured this out, but I would hate for Justin Fields to be Drew Brees.
You can't work in fear. Man. Well, you still had dude. I mean,
I'm saying it worked out because they got Phillip Rivers, and
Rivers still had a good career. Right? He'd be sneaking on the Hall of Fame.
It's not the greatest. It's not the greatest analogy. He's not a Hall of Famer.
I don't think he is either. But you look at his numbers, he might sneak in.
He probably will. People are talking about it.
He gave them good consistent quarterback play that took the organization and the fans off of the whole
But
losing Drew Brees.
Drew Brees would have been a better call than Phillip Rivers in San Diego.
No, it wouldn't. It would have been the same.
Struggling.
Phillip Rivers kept running into Peyton and Brady.
You don't think
Brees was going to be the same?
Could do that?
He was going to do the same thing.
I think Brees is lucky he found Sean Payton. I don't think he was going to work in that San Diego system as well as he worked with the Saints, to be quite honest with you. He looked better in the Saints than he did with San Diego. Even in his good years in San Diego.
He did.
Man.
I don't want, and I know, Caleb Williams is there waiting. The Bears.
I saw Caleb Williams.
And I'm kind of like that with Glenn, but that's what the world want to see. That's what everybody thinks going to happen.
I don't know if I want that.
My thing is, if you're going to ride it out, you have to now know with the mindset that you're going to get rid of the coaches, and you have to have two types of coaches on your mind. One, that if Justin shows to turn it around, I got to get a coach in here that believes in my quarterback. Or two, I'm getting rid of Justin and getting the coaches in here that's going to bring in the next quarterback. You can't. It's a fucked up situation to be in.
And time, fiscal time is the element that's working against you. If this is Justin's second year, you can ride it out 2 years. This is that year where you got to here's a scenario that I see, and you're rolling the dice a little bit, but it's the Daniel Jones gambit.
Yep.
And you don't pick up his 5th-year option. So at the end of the 4th year, at the end of next year, he is essentially an unrestricted free agent, and you franchise tag him. But he proves to you that he can be good going forward because you do bring in a coach, a coordinator that knows how to quarterback coach, offensive minds that know how to get the best from him out of consistency and efficiency. And then you franchise tag him and you renegotiate, because Justin's not going to have a whole bunch of leverage unless he just throws for like 4,500 yards and 35 touchdowns. You're not going to see those kind of numbers anyway. So Justin will have a little bit of leverage, but not much, not much more than what Daniel Jones had. And then you probably end up paying him like 40 something million for 3 years or whatever the case might be. And then maybe Justin's around for another contract if things go forward. The issue, however, and Smoke brought it up, is finding offensive minded personnel, coaching wise, that believes Justin is salvageable, so to speak, and that they can do something, and they have a plan about how to implement that going forward. In which case, is your 2 first-round picks you're using to, if not build around Justin exclusively, to fortify your team holistically, and that is getting that edge rusher and either another receiver or a left tackle to protect him. Because Braxton Jones is not necessarily the solution, but I like him as a swing offensive lineman. But I don't know if I love him as my left tackle. But time.
Oh, go ahead, finish.
I was gonna say, but time is working against you. And here's the other thing: if you're the GM now and you start making these changes, or you're making these changes, and maybe the offensive coordinator is the first to go during the season, and you let Eberflus go at the end of the season, you've got to be compiling your list right now. Now, I literally have no problem with a head coach who's a defensive coordinator as long as he has an offensive coordinator that's good.
We thought we had that.
No. We had a guy that was a quarterback coach for a Hall of Fame quarterback. That's some bullshit. Starting off with,
they
that
sold
was a problem
it to
to
us.
begin with.
They sold it.
Well, I don't know if I was really buying it, but whatever.
I think it was a low bar. I think we bought it.
You know why? Because they made adjustments last year, which was a low bar because they were shit.
Well, no, I'm saying even before I'm talking about when they were hired. We were like, Getsy, okay. That should work.
I don't know if I was like, Getsy, okay. I was like, we'll see what happens. I wasn't sold. I was curious, like, all right, well, we'll see what happens. We didn't get Hackett. We got the guy. I mean, look, I don't even want to go down that road. That's going to be digressing too much. But you got to have a short list. Now, I was looking at the offensive coordinators that are currently, in the NFL, And there was only one to me that I felt I would even want to be a head coach, and
Detroit.
that's the one that the Lions have right now.
Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit's offensive coordinator. Came Ben something. I can't remember his name, whatever. But that dude, I was like, I could see him as a head coach, and then you kind of sort of like you can go to the they weaken Detroit a little bit, blah blah blah. However, I do see a couple of defensive coordinators who've been head coaches and who've had some success that know how to coach, because Eberflus's big problem is so much that he's a defensive coordinator is that he doesn't know how to solve the problems, and he doesn't even know how to solve his own defensive problems. I like Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn with the Dallas Cowboys. I have no problem with him being a head coach because he took his team to the Super Bowl. Should have won a Super Bowl. If it wasn't for the offensive coordinator, they would have won a Super Bowl.
Everybody praises.
Right. And Cal Shanahan, ironically, was the offensive coordinator. But again, I don't want to digress.
We alternate coaches though here. So
that's lately we've been doing that.
You got to go offense, defense.
Well, traditionally it's been defensive coordinators, but except for freshmen.
Well, remember Ditka was a special teams coordinator.
And I say traditionally. I didn't say like every time, but traditionally it was defensive coordinators.
Though,
like you said,
you might know better than me. Ditka called his own plays, right?
He was a factor into it, but I can't remember who the offensive coordinator.
I know he had his later years. Danny Abramowitz was the OC, but I always thought Ditka called the plays. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I think as a head coach, he was involved in a lot of the play calls that were there, and I think he would hold people accountable to them. Because I remember a lot of times him screaming at Jim McMahon, "Jim, why'd you change the play?" Right. Because it fucking worked, Mike. Let's do a touchdown pass. What's your problem?
Did you guys see Jimmy Johnson on the Fox pregame show Sunday? Mm-hmm. He said that Bears fans should have high hopes, because if he were in the decision-making process, he would take the first pick, take Caleb Williams, and bring his coach with him.
But that's the same thing. Manuacho said that too. But to me, I get it. That's wishful thinking. That's all.
Lincoln Riley won. What's Lincoln Riley won in college?
That's my thing, man. That's my thing. And I'm like, okay, if it's that easy, how about we go get fucking Ryan Day then?
I didn't say it. I'm just telling you what Jimmy Johnson said.
Like, because we want to make life easier for Caleb Williams. No, fuck that. If we go get Caleb Williams, he should show he can survive this BS we dealing with now. If he's so great, that's how I really.
That's what I. You know what? I haven't seen. I've never seen Caleb Williams play. I'm
really
good competition.
Honestly, I'm just legit sick of Chicago fans. And everybody is so quick to want the next best, the next hot thing. And realistically, man, we don't accept the fact that we are a messed up organization. Mm-hmm. It's not just one person. It's not just the quarterback. So just simply pouring, what do they say? You patching up the wound by going to get Caleb Williams. We're gonna be ready to get rid of him faster than we was ready to get rid of Justin Fields. Because it took 4 years. It took 4 years to want to get rid of Mitch.
Yep.
It's now 3. We want to get rid of Justin.
Wait.
And it's going to be 2. We want to get rid of Caleb.
Mitch should have won a playoff game. It wasn't for a double doink. He would have won a playoff game.
And the world hated him still.
Man.
12-4 and everyone
come
still
on, man.
Now, I'm not giving them no excuses, but just
I'm
saying.
Just saying.
It's the culture here, man.
How about you drive a little bit further than 40 yards away for your field goal kicker, who's only made 72% of the kicks all damn year, and you put it in his hands.
He was kicking from 41 yards. A high school kicker can make it from 41. Come on, man.
It was dead a winner. And here's a guy.
It wasn't wait. It was a nice day that day. Stop that.
It wasn't like it was 6:55 and balmy.
It was like 45 degrees that day.
Whatever. My point is, that dude did his job that day. He did exactly what he'd been doing all year. And for you to expect him to do more was dumb on your part. That dude, he made 77% of his kicks that year. He made 3 out of 4 that day. He did exactly what he'd been doing the whole damn year. He scored the majority of your fucking points, but yet y'all gonna make him the scapegoat.
He missed the big one.
How about you? Freaking quarterback do more. It's not the same thing when they lost to the fucking Dolphins, and the same thing when they lost to Green Bay.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'd like to get you worked up about Mitch.
Look at Trubisky on the drive. He gets him in field goal range. Most other motherfuckers get you in field goal range. You're like the 25-yard line, get the 20-yard line.
But just listening to that, we got a competent kicker now. We get in field goal range Sunday,
and we don't
want to kick it. like what the hell, dog? And then you. This is what really blew me. This is what really pissed me off. Couple things. So I've been telling people this all the time. Like, if you go look at defensive coaches, head coaches around the NFL, their side of the football, outside of Brandon Staley, whose offense is top tier.
Khalil Mack had 6 sacks yesterday.
And Staley still almost found a way to blow it. Just saying. So look, outside of Brandon Staley, who's probably has a chance to make the playoffs and probably gonna get fired, him. Most defensive coaches, their side of the football, do their job. People are mad about Salah's support of Zach Wilson, but Salah's side of the ball produces.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Tomlin's side of the ball produces. This the good one. DeMeco Ryans' side of the ball produces, and that's with a rookie quarterback who's doing his damn thing too. I don't want to ignore that.
They put up 60 points in the last couple of weeks.
I don't want to ignore that, but his defense is doing their job too.
Yeah,
Matt Eberflus. The world is expecting Justin Fields to overcome your ass as well. Not just do great defensively. I mean, do great offensively. He got to win in spite of your terrible defense. And you're a defensive coach. Like that's insane. Just like when we had Matt Nagy and Mitch Trubisky, your side of the ball was terrible and our defense was good. It's just like we can't get them both on the same track, I see.
Well, like to your point, Lovie Smith, defense was always solid when they were healthy.
Side of the ball. Like
the offense just struggled.
It's frustrating, man.
Even when they weren't healthy, they were still solid.
Yeah. I mean, they were still solid, but I'm just saying that when they weren't healthy, that's when we had some of our losing seasons. But and when I say they weren't healthy, we're talking several players, not one.
And we talk about the Urlacher years that he was out for the season.
Yeah.
But man, it's but and then you hear how Mike Tomlin approached the game after they laid an egg, and then you hear
did they fire Canada? And they fired Canada today, didn't they?
Did they?
They did.
I think they fired the offensive coordinator.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I know he said changes was going to be made, but I didn't see that.
It's my information I got was.
Let's make sure. Hold on, Steelers.
No, they didn't fire him.
No, okay, but it's coming.
We'll
put it out there.
But it's only Monday night.
But I will say this: after Tomlin's press conference, I bet Matt Canada is worried.
He should.
He's like, hey, babe, could you check the housing market?
But you're right. Eberflus comes and there were some positive things we saw today. No, your team played like crap. You blew a 21-point lead in the second half. That shouldn't happen. You should be disgusted by that.
No, Ezra, it wasn't the second half. It was 19 minutes left in the game. He had a 28-7-point lead. There was 4 minutes left in the third quarter.
I'm sorry. I need to hear some passion.
Man.
Something. To tell us, hey, this is not acceptable.
Once again, no personality.
How different would our team be if Brian Daboll was the head coach?
I think
they'll probably be a lot better. Yeah.
I think it'd be like
definitely offensively.
I think it'd be like Josh Allen's year with like his first year with Stephon Diggs. I think it'd be closer to that.
I definitely think it'll be better. What's crazy is what's as bad as we have been critical of the Bears offense. To this point, the Bears offense has been far better than last year's offense over the first four
Far
games.
better?
You think so?
Far better?
No.
Far
Justin Fields already has over 300 more yards passing to this day than he had last year through 4 games.
Really?
Yes.
Because of yesterday.
But if he didn't throw for 300 yesterday, he would have. Let's say yesterday he didn't play yesterday. He would have had the same amount in 3 games that he had in 4 games last year.
Such a low bar, man.
It's sad.
Well, wait.
Sad.
One of those games was a monsoon.
Shit, that might have been the best game he played of the first 4. I guarantee you that wasn't his. I guarantee you that wasn't his lowest. Wasn't his lowest passing yard totals. I guarantee that game wasn't. I'm about to go look it up. I bet that wasn't his lowest passing total in the first 4.
By the way, Seahawks, Devin Witherspoon, Illinois, just returned a 97-yard interception for a touchdown. Pick 6.
How about those Seahawks, man? I mean, people thought they were
defensive
dead.
Coach.
No, the defensive. That's what I'm saying. I don't. Defensive coaches, I don't have a problem with because they usually don't screw themselves out of games too often. If anything, they get chided for being too conservative. But they don't,
old defensive coach.
Yeah. Pete Carroll is old in age, but young in spirit. That dude's like the youngest old man I've ever seen.
He was a DC when Bernie Kosar was in Cleveland, man. He was the Cleveland DC.
Look at that. Daniel Jones, Mr. $40 million a year, huh?
$40 million, baby. That's what it gets you.
Look,
Brian Daboll's what are you doing?
And that's some other BS because
but that's what I'm saying.
He's a smart guy. He went to Duke.
I feel Justin has been better than that guy in his time.
And I don't think he's been worse.
This guy had a quote unquote career year by throwing less touchdowns than the quarterback the world like the bad. And
hey, speaking of contract years, Chase Claypool. What's up with this dude, man? Chase Claypool. So he kind of called out the coaches because it was mild.
It was very mild.
It was mild. But you can't do that.
Justin Fields.
You know what?
He realized real quickly.
He should have come back.
Well, Justin, they had to come back. I bet he wasn't going to get sent home.
It was mild.
He found out real quick.
But he still can't do it. He's inactive, so he left.
No. He didn't leave. The team asked him not to come back.
Another reason Eberflus has.
No, I thought
Yeah.
I thought he was at Soldier Field yesterday.
No. The team told him to stay away.
Eberflus got on the presser.
Because I thought it was after.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
After yesterday, after him leaving, they did that.
Eberflus lied.
He misspoke.
Wow.
He even said today he said he misspoke. He some kind of clipped way he said it. It's a roundabout way. But yeah, no, the organization.
And to be funny about it, Justin threw his ass under the bus too. Justin said, "Yeah, they told him. I think it was either Friday or Saturday. They told him not to come."
But Justin did say he was a playmaker yesterday. He said Chase is a playmaker.
Hey, look, whatever happened with Claypool is fine. But look, to me, granted, it was the Broncos defense, but F that, I'm gonna give credit to my boy EQ being on the field.
Yeah, that block, saw that?
I said that man need to be playing, man. And I don't give can't nobody convince me that because it was the Broncos. F that.
By the way, the one catch he made was outstanding. Yeah,
it was a great catch
and a great throw. He got crushed throwing that ball. Like just been for all them people talking about he can't throw, he can't make the throws.
He
Dude,
does,
the
dude.
throws he made yesterday, I don't give a damn because he made the notion of Denver defense being so bad prevalent because of how he's played in the past, how he's been perceived in the past. But them throws, that one to DJ Moore,
right on the money,
like the defender was there.
Yeah.
It was a perfect throw. Like he made some throws yesterday. The slant route
was decisive.
where he getting free blitzer right on him, hit the side. Like he was decisive. He threw with anticipation. The one time, the last throw of the game, he threw with anticipation, and they just wasn't on the same page.
Right.
You know, because he threw that ball before the Komet even turned around. But I'm like, man, look at these throws, like beautiful.
He looked like Ohio State.
Yes.
The first time that's the most he looked like Ohio State Justin Fields since he's been in the NFL.
Yes.
And
we schemed guys wide open. Now that might have been because of
the Denver defense, right? Right. We're gonna really see what's going on Thursday night with Washington. Washington's defense is pretty damn good,
solid.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, man. Here's the other thing that just back to your point about this coaching staff, Smoke, was that where the hell was these play calls all year? Like, why are you just now? Like, how come we didn't start off doing this in Green Bay or Tampa and build from that? So you can do this. You've been able to do this shit. You didn't just figure out how to have Justin be 12 for 12. Dude was 12 for 12 with 3 touchdowns in the first 23 minutes of game time. 12 for 12. Dude, it's hard to do that shit on Madden, bro. On All Pro. Okay? 12 for 12. 3 touchdown passes the first 23 minutes.
Wait, I've been playing Madden on Pro, and the computer's been killing me. Just putting it out there. Right. It's tough to do.
It's tough to do.
Yeah.
And then I thought, okay. The cynical part of me was like, we'll see what happens second half. Because I don't know. And they came back, dude, 28-7, a team play drive. So you strung together 15 plays. You dealt with some loss of yardage through penalties and a couple of tackles behind the line of scrimmage. And you score. You didn't set up for a field goal. You scored a touchdown. Now, Justin did a great job to get the ball to Leo, but to Herbert. But you went on a 15-play drive. You took 9.5 minutes off the clock. Where was this all year? I didn't see one bubble screen. I didn't see back-to-back bubble screens for the first time all year. I saw very little screenplay. You call like a legitimate game. Like, come on, dude. What are y'all doing here? What's the guy that
had us last week wondering if they trust the quarterback or not, right?
Come on, man.
Well, maybe this is the time to unleash him.
I don't know what to believe what's going on, dude. I don't know what's going on. None of this makes any sense, dude. It doesn't line up with anything that happened before or what they're saying. It's like I'm getting 3 different stories at one time. Now, what was the offensive coordinator who was with the Ravens and had Lamar for a few years?
Greg Roman? Not Greg Roman. Before
Greg Roman. No, Roman.
Remember last week I said that's who we should go get.
Yep, I agree with you, dude, because you look at the way this offense is structured. Like, look, if you let Getsy go, I'd bring in Roman. Because the way this offense is structured, you got the depth at running back, you got the blocking wide receiver in EQ, and you got some tight ends. You got Mercedes Lewis who can block. You got an athletic quarterback that can throw the ball clearly. You have a little bit better receivers than even Lamar had in terms of your boundary receivers. You give your defense a chance to not have to. That's the other thing, too. If you're a head coach, play fucking field position. Be consistent with that shit, man. That's part of the reason why the Bears defense was good in the first half. Denver had crappy field position. So you can do more things. You can affect them in ways. Denver had a lot of false starts yesterday. Why? Because they were trying to, not get caught. It just, man, dude. The more I think about it, dude, the crazier sound. I need. Oh, I forgot to say this. If you guys get a chance, check out Adam Johns' on the Athletic his article. He had talked about how he being Adam Johns, stayed. He's doing talking to the players in the locker room, and how most of them had been gone, had left already, and Justin's still in his uniform.
Mm-hmm.
But walking through the locker room was the president of the Chicago Bears, Kevin Warren. And when Kevin Warren left, he didn't stay long. And when he left, I think he had like a playbook or some type of manual or something that was Bears related in terms of, whatever the coaches look at and use, and then he was gone. So I'm just saying that may be portents of future change is all I'm saying. When the president comes down to the locker room, and then when he comes, he's looking to kind of see like who's still here, who's wearing this, who's affected by this, who wants, what I'm saying, like who's feeling this? Because if you're feeling this, that means you still care. Who still cares? And then you walk out with something, some kind of manuscript or manual or something. It's like, okay, he may be assessing and reassessing, and then assessing what he reassessed.
Well, he
I
should
think
be.
changes are coming.
Remember,
Yeah, he should be.
he was the last one brought in.
And that's the crazy thing. I was trying to explain it to my daughter today, and I said, the way you would like to have it is that your president hires a GM, and the GM hires a coach, and the coach hires his offensive defensive coordinators.
And we went reverse.
Not here. We went all every which way.
Coach wasn't necessarily hired yet, but he was one of two left.
Right.
When you hired the GM,
who signs off on the coach?
Then we get the
after the season's over, you bring in a president. So, but yeah, man, I think some changes are imminent. I really do, especially if Thursday goes sour. Because you got to clean out that defeatist mentality, man. Because Justin is wearing that shit. You do not want your young talent wearing this shit the way, because that shit sticks with you and it lingers. It can affect your approach.
He's the one on TV getting bashed. He's the one getting killed. He's the one got idiots on Fox talking about DJ Moore is getting worse because of Justin Fields, when DJ Moore is on pace to have a fucking career year. 4 games. This is like
he's got what, three straight 100-yard games?
He got 2 out of the 4 games.
2 or 4, okay.
2 or 4. But he's on pace for 1,200 yards, 1,200 plus yards, 8 touchdowns.
Well, I would worry about they don't watch the games.
Yeah, and I get it, but I'm just saying he's the one getting bashed up. Like, it's clear as day these clowns don't watch TV, man. Like, and I know I ain't brought this dude name up in a while because I kind of stopped talking about him. But today, Shady was shady. This motherfucker, he done flipped James Jones to his side because James Jones was all on Justin, and he flipped James Jones to his side. But he says today, I like the call to go forward. Like, he had just threw a pick the series before that. James Jones like, no, he didn't. He had the fumble, and then the kid drove you back down. He recovered from that and drove down. And but he threw I'm like, yeah, see, this clown continues to prove he don't watch nothing. He don't watch no TV. Like
don't do his homework.
Starting to think he's paid to be on that side of the argument.
It wouldn't be
because I'm noticing some things with a guy who just recently left Fox and now is with ESPN, and I'm noticing some things. The stances he took on Fox, a lot different now that he on ESPN. That's Uncle Shay Shay, because he used to bash Tom Brady on Fox, but he's clamoring for him to come to the Broncos. That's interesting, but okay, that's neither here nor there. But man, that's the guy. He the one, and granted, he might not even pay attention to that, but I'm sure his family does. And I'm
everybody does. Everybody does.
Like, man, the kid has a career game, and it ends that way, man. It's sad. Like, that shit hurt me watching him on the bench at the end of that game like that, like having to be consoled like that. That hurt, like because he feels he let the team down.
Right.
Like he feel that's all on him.
Right. And it's hard to
me,
get rid of that feeling.
Man, and like as coaches, you have to sometimes save your players from themselves.
Or how about you don't fuck them up and put them in
bad situations? Yeah. You have to be the person to avoid that for them. And the coaching staff did not avoid that.
No,
at all.
They really didn't. And I, the offensive coordinator really just a series of things, man, where it's like, as offensive coordinator, there are things you can do to not put all that on him at that point in time. And I'm not saying that Justin doesn't want it on. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that there are things you did throughout the game to help Justin, so that, and you do this to help your quarterback. You run the ball. You got more than one running back.
You're averaging 5.7 yards a carry with one of them.
You're playing the worst run defense in the NFL. And if you see them coming at your quarterback a certain kind of way, in terms of jumping the gun, you can run some trap plays, you can do some draw plays. There are other things you can do. And it's like, this guy thinks about this stuff and then does it the week after it happens. So it's like, it's so reactive, so retro reactive, that it's like, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, well, yeah, maybe I shouldn't do so many screens. Motherfuckers, you can't do 3 in a row. That's probably a good idea. I won't do that next week. I'll try some slants. Yeah, why don't you try some slants? 2 weeks later, hey, you do a slant for a touchdown pass. Imagine that. Oh, amazing. DJ Moore gets his first touchdown pass or whatever against the Chiefs late in the game. Slant pass. Slant thing, it works. Shit, Sherlock. It's like it dawns on him so much later. And it's like some of the plays, even that one touchdown pass that Justin threw, the second one that Kmet got, it looked like what the Chiefs did to us the week before.
Yes, it did.
I'm like,
just messing with us.
Right. I'm like, yeah, genius. Guess what? It's okay if you appropriate other people's players. Y'all got no reason. Y'all have no problem appropriating everything else.
Hey, that play there, Justin.
I see you.
That play there, Justin wanted to pass a TD because he had to rush a TD scored off jump.
Yeah.
He stayed back. He wanted to pass a TD back.
He slowed down to a jog.
He slowed down because I was watching it. Don't kill me. I was watching it while coaching, and I saw the rollout. I said, "Oh, that's easy money. Ain't nobody there." So then I had it in my ear, and I'm like, "Wait, what touchdown pass?" I'm like, "Oh, he must have just waited till somebody came free because he could have easily ran that in." But hey, look, I ain't mad at you. Look, they say you can't throw the ball. Rack up them numbers, man.
Absolutely.
The whole play design was the same thing we saw the freaking Chiefs do. Yeah. It's like, yeah, dude, you can use other people's plays. I don't care if you copy it. Ain't nobody gonna get you for plagiarizing plays.
You're supposed to.
I'm waiting on us to incorporate the little shovel pass up the middle. No, the shovel pass that it seems like a lot.
Well, okay. Why aren't we doing doing the push thing for the push quarterback sneak on 4th and 1 like Philly does?
It's got to be ego. It makes no sense.
No, wait, but they showed, was that last week versus the Chiefs? They showed us do it, and then I think we had Mooney and
the lightweights pushing from behind.
We had the lightweights back there, and they wasn't pushing Justin behind. They were pushing up top. So getting zero leverage.
You got receivers doing fullbacks jobs right there. You got a fullback on the roster.
Hell, the only person with Kmet's, Justin the one pushed him through there. If you go back and watch
receivers don't know nothing about leverage.
Once again, it comes back to what I said last year. Justin is the toughest motherfucker we got on our offense. Probably on our team.
Him and Tevin Jenkins when Tevin never plays.
He's supposed to be coming back.
He's back. He's at practice this week.
I
there you go.
assume that makes him.
I would assume he's not. Well, I'm assuming he's not going to play against Washington.
That's what I'm saying. I'm assuming
he'll probably be back for the Minnesota game. I would assume. But
might as well keep him out.
But yeah, this Washington game, this is big, man. I want to see if there's actually going to be
wasn't it week 5
some progress here. I think so. Yeah,
we had them on Thursday.
Same week, except it was here.
I guess we did it a week earlier where we showed some glimpse of hope on the offense. That was like rock bottom last year.
But remember, wasn't it
turned it around a week later?
It was the Patriots game after that.
A week later,
that they turned it up. Okay, all right.
The offense showed promise this week.
That's something to look.
Now let's see if they can build on it Thursday.
Man, why didn't we get Eric Bieniemy? How much different would the offense be then? Because then you could let Eberflus ass go because you had a coach in waiting. Seriously. Well, you hired Bieniemy, you put pressure on Eberflus.
Yep.
It's just, dude, I was really pulling for Washington to win. Not so much because I like both teams, but just pulling for it. And even in the loss, it wasn't because of the offense. They scored 31 against the Eagles.
41, yeah.
On the road. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think they've scored 30, 2 or 3 of the first 4 games.
Definitely 2 times.
Yeah, they scored 3. They scored 3 last week, though.
It's Buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Buffalo
just saw what Buffalo did to Miami.
Right. Buffalo's got a pretty good defense.
70 last week.
Yeah.
They held them.
They shut them down. Yeah. And shut down my fantasy team to go with it. But, that's neither here nor there. Hey, fellas, let's go to picks, man. Last week,
still won the Bears game.
Smoke was the top dog. We all won the Bears game, yeah. At plus 3.5.
3-0.
Smoke was 3-0. He got the Lions over the Packers. And you got the Vikings.
NFC North did me good.
So 3-0. I was 2-1. I got Bowling Green won outright against Georgia Tech. Yeah, wow. I lost the I had Syracuse plus 7 against Clemson and took the Bears game. Glenn, you were 1-2.
Impossible.
Got the Bears game, but lost Duke at plus 5.5 against Notre Dame. Didn't get there. And your Volunteers took care of business. So you went the wrong way on that one. But I guess
no. That was perfect. That's exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You were fine with that. You were fine with that.
What was the final score of the Duke game? They lost by a field goal.
No, it was 21. I thought it was 21-14 or
it's 21-14.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, bastards.
Here, let me check. I'll check this just to make sure.
I thought they were going for the win. They were going for the tie. Okay.
Where you at? Notre Dame. Yeah, it was 21-14. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I feel bad for Duke, man. They do 4th and 7. I was looking good. 4th and 17. They let a non-running quarterback run for 17 yards. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. 4th and 17, bro. It wasn't like Caleb Williams ran for 17 yards. It was Sam Hartman. He's like a 72-year-old college kid still playing. He's been in college since the 2020s. I mean, literally, since 2020, he's been in college. I think he's got 2 more years of eligibility left.
Oh, dadgummit, Howard. Howard is in town against Northwestern this week.
Wow.
I would have gone to cheer for the Wildcats.
Dude, man, how can you ever go to another Northwestern game? It's the most boringest. Oh my god! You know what? I'll tell you what it is. I was watching that. I wasn't watching it, but I was keeping an eye on the Penn State Northwestern game.
Yeah.
And when I saw I said, "Wait, Northwestern's up 10-3. What?" And then I said, "Oh, 10-10." I said, "First half." I said, "Yeah, I know what's happening here. It's that malaise. It's that funk. That that yuck. That when you play at Northwestern, it's so yucky." that the fans, remember the fans behind us, the Michigan fans behind us saying like, yeah, man, it sucks here. The atmosphere just sucks. It sucks the life out of
I
you.
guess it was Penn State. I saw an article. I read it, I guess, yesterday. But apparently they practiced in silence, getting ready for Northwestern because there's
no
nothing
crowd
there.
noise.
So
Wow.
usually they practice with music on, and they bring in crowd noise and that sort of thing just to get teams ready. They practiced in silence last week because that's how Ryan Field is. So yeah, good point, Glenn.
Oh my God. But I said, you know what? The second half, you know what's gonna happen? They're gonna be so fired up, so much energy for how bad it was. It's gonna like someone's gonna knock out the Malays. They're gonna come out and whoop their ass. And I said, there's probably gonna be like 41. I said 41-10 would be the final score. I think it was 41-13. So bad. Oh God, I can never go. I'll never go back there to watch a game. You couldn't pay me. Well, maybe you could pay me, but you gotta really pay me a lot.
Well, it depends on who's there.
No, bro. Unless Northwestern gets a different coach and they have a different kind of energy or something. At this point, yes, that's just a yes kind of place, man. No, thank you. You can tell me about it.
Man, I don't like any of these college games. By the way, Glenn, you're the top dog at 8-4. Smoke, you're right behind at 7-5, and I'm right behind you at 6-6. So right in the same area there. So I guess I'm going first here, and I'm going to take Boston College +3 at Army.
You do find the most obscure ass fucking games. Like Bowling Green, like you and the people from Bowling Green, they're the ones that bet on that game. And yet you came out winning.
I
So
sure did. Boston College +3.
Damn, that's wild.
What
My
happened?
boy in a fantasy league. So my boy, he was losing by like 30, I think, going into the day. And he had Seattle's defense. And he
Oh,
had DK Metcalf. He was just down 2. And Danny just threw a pick that
another
just sealed
pick.
his victory. He just came back. Wow.
Look at those Giant fans are pissed.
that's the $40 million man.
Let the media
Um,
hype them up.
I'm gonna take UNC, the Tar Heels, +8.5 or -8.5 at home against Syracuse. I'm gonna take the Texans, +1.5 in Atlanta.
Let's
One
see
and
how
a
good
half.
they are on the road.
1.5. Yep.
Let's say 1 on ESPN, and I know they go by Caesars.
Now I got Caesars here, 1.5.
That's gonna change on Caesars. Okay.
Right.
Let's go for that same one.
Smoke. Who you got?
I'm going Bears +7. I'm going Buffalo -5.5.
Who's Buffalo playing?
Jacksonville in London.
Mm. That's Jacksonville's home away from home.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, I saw they spent 2 weeks there.
Yep. And then I wanted to do that Texans game too, but damn, it ain't even no line for the Dolphins Giants shit. Wow. You know what? Can I do that? Whatever the line comes out, just take it.
Sure.
Dolphins Giants.
Sure.
No line yet on here, but whatever the line is, I'm taking the Dolphins.
Wait, I got one here.
What it say?
9.5.
Oh no,
Giants
hell no.
+9.5.
No, hell no. That's
That
too
you were
much.
taking.
That's too high. That's too high. Oh man. You know what? I gotta do it because I said that I hope I F Sean Payton. I'm going Jets +2 over Denver.
Jets.
They're extra motivated.
Glenn, who you got?
Well, I am taking. Hope I don't jinx them. I'm taking the Bluegrass Kentucky Wildcats plus 14.5 into Athens to face the Georgia Bulldogs between the hedges. And I'm also taking the undefeated Maryland Terrapins into the Horseshoe.
Maryland's undefeated?
Yes, sir. 5-0 to play the night plus 19.5 against Ohio State.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I hope so. I hope so. I'm going to take a pro game. And, I'm going to take the Chiefs, man. But fucking Matt Nagy, dude, he knows how to keep other teams close. I tell you.
Except for the Bears.
Well, that's the Bears because they have a whole bunch of Matt Nagy's in the coaching staff, not just one.
Exactly. I told people, everybody talking about some Matt Nagy looking good over there. No, he ain't. He had one good game against a sorry ass defense.
I'm going to take 49ers minus 3.5 against the Cowboys because they're usually more. The Cowboys have a hard time stopping physical running teams.
That Cowboy defense is something else, though, man.
Yeah, when they got the lead,
they are. Well, yeah.
Not when you run at their ass.
Yeah, this one's gonna be interesting. I might go get a new defense for this weekend at fantasy because you got San Fran with a good defense and offense.
Yeah.
So
isn't that my Super Bowl pick?
Did I do that? Pick?
Probably so.
49ers?
Yeah, I think so. Let me make sure.
I'm really tempted to take that Bears, though, man. Plus 7.
No, I didn't. My Super Bowl pick is the Lions. How the hell did I do that?
Hey, you're still looking good, bro. It's not like you're looking bad.
That's going to do it for this week's edition of the Easy Smoke and the GM podcast. I want to thank you for listening. We greatly appreciate it. We are going to be off next week. We'll be back after the Bears-Vikings game they play on the 15th. So we'll post something on the 16th. You can catch our podcast at Apple Podcasts, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find your favorite podcast. You can also catch us at hp53productions.com. There you'll find a link to our podcast and the Super Duper podcast hosted by Rob Griggs and yours truly, and the Father Good podcast hosted by Marshall Givens and Kenny Stevenson. Yo, Glenn.
Yep.
Please take us out.
Hey, it's like we always say here. We ain't saying we're right. We just need the Bears coaching staff to stop doing Justin so wrong.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm still with you, Justin. Still with you.